What is up, everyone? Today we'll be taking a look at the grand finals of the EU International Championships. It's Aeeriis versus Fr43ka. Aeeriis currently undefeated the entire weekend. Fr43ka has picked up one loss though against Aeeriis. Actually, they played before in the winners finals where Fr43ka barely lost 2-3 against Aeeriis. But then he was able to win all his matches in the losers bracket to make it back up to the grand finals where he'll be having a rematch against Aeeriis. Anyway, let's get into these teams, but before we do, I want to ask everyone, if you enjoy this type of video, please consider leaving a like, comment, sub. It'll let me know I should be making more of these type of videos and cover more of the EUIC. If there's any particular matchup you want to see me analyze, let me know in the comments down below as well. Anyway, these teams, Aeeriis is running Trevenant, Medicham, Registeel, Manibus with Air Slash actually, Walrein, Galarian Stunfisk, and Fr43ka is running Medicham, Skarmory, Registeel, Trevenant, Azumarill, Sableye, Purified Sableye. Also important to note, this Azumarill has Ice Beam Play Rough, so it's extremely bad against the Registeel, but because of Ice Beam it is better versus Trevenant. It does like fine-ish there. Both Medichams are Ice Punch Psychic, which means the Registeels are actually really strong, though both also have the Trevenant to answer for that Registeel. Overall, this matchup looks pretty even, but on first sight, I think Fr43ka Sableye looks incredibly strong. I mean, it beats Trevenant, beats Medicham. It's really good versus Registeel. It is pretty even versus Walrein and Stunfisk. And Manibus actually running Air Slash, which makes Sableye slightly better as well. It's not a winning matchup whatsoever, but it's a playable matchup. If I would be in Fr43ka's shoes, I would definitely run Sableye every single game. I think the only problem I can see with running Sableye is that it's hard to fit a good steel answer on the same team, because you can't. It will be very hard to pair Sableye with like Medicham or Trevenant, for example. Those are your hardest steel answers, and that is hard, because then Manibus is a really good core breaker for that. But I could definitely see Fr43ka run something like maybe Sableye safe switch to lure out the Manibus, and then Trevenant in the back to sweep, because Trevenant as a sweeper does really good against Aeries' team, because it beats Medi, Reggie, Stunfisk, and with some energy it can also beat Walrein and the opposing Trevenant. So if I was Fr43ka, I would probably run Manibus answering the lead, so Registeel or Azu, and then Sableye safe switch, Trevenant in the back, and I think you got a pretty solid squad there. And what was Aeries? Ooh, I think it's rough for Aeries. Actually, I think the Manibus does look pretty solid, though with Air Slash, of course, it doesn't beat Skarmory. It gets destroyed by Registeel, and Azu is not great either, but what are the odds he brings all three of those? I think there's definitely a chance. Aeries is incredibly good at calling teams though. So let's see what it decides to bring. I'm gonna move my camera down here. So you're just gonna have to remember that there's a Manibus, Walrein, and Galarian Stunfisk on Aeries' team as well. Aeries goes for a team with Manibus, Registeel, and Trevenant. And leads into the Skarmory. This is not an amazing lead for Aeries, because of course he is running Air Slash that is resisted on the Skarm, and that does mean the Manibus will lose this matchup, but it is close enough. And Aeries is running the Trevenant in the back, so he's kind of forced to stay in here. Doesn't want the Trevenant on the Skarmory later. Fr43ka actually decided to switch out here. I think this is a good switch from Fr43ka. We saw a Medicham on the backline of Fr43ka as well. And that really doesn't want to see a Trevenant. And the Registeel really doesn't want to see Trevenant either. So Fr43ka's idea with this line up is lead the Skarmory. That's your Trevenant answer. If there's no Trevenant in the lead, you have to sacrifice your Registeel to hopefully lure it out, which he has successfully done here. And then hope that your Medicham can sweep. Which, considering that there is still a Registeel on Aeries' side in the back, might actually work out. That might actually work out. But there's still an Air Slash Mandy as well, so that's not great. This Registeel actually ends up getting fully farmed down. It's not too good, because these Shadow Balls will definitely still end up on the Skarmory. I think that's the problem with the Registeel Trevenant matchup. Like, the Trevenant just can end up with so much energy. I think maybe catching the foul play on the Reggie was a mistake because of that. Because if he hadn't called that foul play and Aeries sort of just brought in the Trevenant immediately, that Reggie still would have been able to reach 2 Zap Cannons. So maybe he shouldn't have called. Now he shields down. Frika over Aeries brings in the Reggie. Frika brings in the Medi. Oh man. Mandibuzz with 2 shields versus Medi. This is not great. You know, even with Air Slash, Medicham versus Mandibuzz is actually kind of even. But with a shield up, this is not good. This is, you really don't want the Mandy to have 2 shields. If it has like 1 shield, you can bring it incredibly low. Maybe even kill it. 0 shields, that's fine. You can take an aerial ace. You can do two ice punches. But with 2 shields versus 1, this is not looking good for Frika right now. Yeah, the Reggie still has so much health on Aeris' side. I'm gonna go for the ice punch. Yeah. I don't think he can shield this, but he kind of has to, right? He kind of has to. You know, Frika or Aeris not even throwing any bubbles, knows it's not required. Is he gonna be able to farm down? That might have been his only hope. But even then, that's the thing. Registeel is such an incredibly insane Pokemon. Medicham with Ice Punch and Psychic can't really damage it with Charge Move. You have to like do so many counters to take it out. Because the charge moves are all resisted from Medicham or Registeel, Registeel with a little energy actually ends up beating Medicham in the 0 shield. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, Aeris just finished this off with a Focus Blast, and it's SG. Aeris just had a way better lineup than Frika there. You know, that Trevenant in the back, even though Frika was able to lure it out with the Registeel, just posed a real threat, because that thing with energy is the strongest everything in Frika's lineup, which is exactly why I think Frika should really consider bringing that Sableye. It's probably the strongest answer for that Trevenant. Though, even if the Sableye, even if he has Sableye, like Trevenant still has player. Trevenant can actually win the once versus Sableye if you Sheet Bomb Bait and then Shadow Ball. So, like, I think Trevenant is just insanely good for Aeries. You see the Sableye from Frika here. It leads it into the Trevenant. Here comes Mandibuzz from Aeries. And here comes an Azumarill. This is one thing I've seen Aeries do a lot. He plays incredibly risky. I would never, ever consider switching in a Mandibuzz against a team with Azumarill, Registeel, and Skarmory. But Aeries just doesn't care. He does it anyway. And you know, I wouldn't even be surprised if he can still somehow come back from this game, because Air Slash Mandy can actually bring Azu kinda low. Then he might be able to get a bunch of energy on a Trevenant later. And if he gets if he gets a lot of energy on a Trevenant, maybe he can Shadow Ball that Sableye and still make this a pretty close game. Man, this Azu can build up so much energy though, so the Trevenant might even still take an Ice Beam. Can take one though, but it's definitely not ideal. This doesn't even kill, which is so bad. Ooh, under tap on the aerial ace. Good under tap. Good recognition by Aeries that you could that you would need to under tap there to get off the move. Bring the Azu in the red. Hopefully this is farm range for the Trevenant now. The Stunfisk as well. If he like gets a shield against the Sableye, the Stunfisk might be able to sweep as well, because it's pretty good against Registeel as well, and okay versus Sableye too. I think Frika makes a really good call here. Doesn't want to get farmed down by the Trevenant. Knows that the Trevenant with energy is a real threat even for the Sableye. So switches in Sableye. So Trevenant is kind of forced to switch out or get farmed down by this thing. And now the Sableye is a real threat. So it's a very good play by Frika, actually recognizing that you don't want to give the Trevenant energy. Giving up switch is not ideal either, because now you're gonna have Registeel versus Trevenant in the back, and that is still also not great. But I think you'd rather lose switch there than get completely farmed down by the Trev at that point. So I really do enjoy that move. Aeries actually gonna go straight for the Earthquake after his foul play. Hopefully hits. We see a little bit of lag here. Oh no. Alright, that was fine. CMP tie. Gets to the Earthquake. Are we gonna see a shield here? Ooh, we do. Yeah, I think that's a kind of a 50-50 call at that point, and he makes it right. He makes the right move. I think if Aeeriis baited there, not been great. In comes the Trevenant now. Frk, good counting. Throws right before the Trevenant. I get to the Seed Bomb. Doesn't want to take the extra damage on Sableye, which makes sense because if he took that Seed Bomb on his Sableye, he would have been brought into a range where a Rock Slide would KO. So makes a lot of sense. There's a foul play. Aeeriis shields up here, but at this point the game is just over. Nothing you can really do here. It's gonna Earthquake the Sable, but there's still Reggie in the back, and even the Azu can just bubble down the Stunfisk at this point. So this game mostly just came down to alignment. Aeeriis bad lead, switched in Manibus, got hard countered, and he would have had a shot if the Trevenant was able to farm down the Azu, which I guess was his plan, and that would have actually worked, I think. But Frk recognized it and switched out soon enough to not get farmed down. So honestly, good strategy by Aeeriis, but that was just super well played by Frk. And he took the win deservedly. Next game, Trevenant into Walrein. This is a good matchup for Walrein because it slightly outpaces to the move. Well, they got to the first one at the same rate. So Aeeriis actually decided not to throw here because he knows Trevenant wins a CMP anyway. In that case, you just want to overfarm and throw right before the next one. But the Walrein should get to 2 moves before the Trevenant gets to 2. Frk makes a really good catch on the Registeel here. Wow, that's actually impressive because Walrein could have really thrown at any point there and he picked the exact right point. Aeeriis switching straight into Trevenant. I feel like he would have been better off maybe farming up to another Icicle Spare there before switching out. But I think because he did this, he slightly outpaces the Registeel to the move, right? Yeah, actually, never mind. Maybe this was the right play because his Trevenant was now able to outpace to the Shadow Ball before getting hit by the Zap Cannon. So I guess that might have been the appropriate play after all. Can he farm this all the way down? He's sure gonna try. He's gonna have to shield up again. Personally, I would have probably thrown Seed Bomb because now you're double debuffed. The Shadow Balls aren't gonna do much damage versus anything. But, you know, maybe not. I mean, if he brings in the Trevenant again, he has a Shadow Ball. If he brings in the Scarm, honestly, double debuff Shadow Ball, let's see. Is he gonna get a shield? He isn't. But actually, it does a decent enough chunk to where it's probably, yeah, it was probably worthwhile. Because now I feel like the Skarmy has to shield, right? Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, this is not good. This is really not good for Frk here. Because well, Aeeriis has the Manibus in the back, and this is one of the hardest Trevenant answers in the game. So this is looking quite good by Aeeriis. Aeeriis again just calling the lineups. I saw a lot of comments on my previous video. You know, I lost to Aeeriis. Aeeriis hard called my lineups twice, and saw a lot of comments saying Aeeriis was really lucky. But I will personally disagree with that. Of course, predicting lineup, there's a bit of luck involved, but I think there is some skill involved as well. Because he's just doing it so consistently. And looking back at that video, I think he made some really good choices in this lineup. Like, it wasn't just luck. He also just really made a really good choice. Like, when he faced me, I lost game 1 hard because he hard RPS'd me. And then game 2, he actually brought a lineup that would have gotten, like, hard beaten by the previous team I brought. But because I hard lost with that, he actually dared to bring it. Like, he wasn't just bringing some random line and hoping to hard counter me. No, I think he probably realized that I wasn't gonna bring that line or even that lead again. So he dared to bring a line that was super strong as everything, but that one lineup I just brought the previous game. And he ended up hard countering me again, which I don't think is just luck. No, it's actually it's just some smart recognition on his part. And I think he's done the same to Frk here. And it causes him to take another win. Alright, game 4, the Manibus versus the Medicham. Oh man, this is what I was talking about. I said earlier, I think Frk should be playing the Sableye at all times, because it is so strong, but on the other hand, it's also quite hard to pair it with anything, because the Manibus is such a good core breaker for the things that pair pretty nicely with Sableye. like the Medicham here would have been really good against the Steel type, but seeing the Manibus here, this is not a great matchup, especially since you have that Sableye in the back as well. This is just quite difficult though. Luckily, Frika does have 2 answers to a Trevenant in the back, in the Sable and the Skarm. So he, even though he gets like core broken by the Minibus, he also has a backline that's double strong against one of your opponent's backline, and that's usually a good sign. Even if he loses switch here, he might actually still have a solid shot. He's actually gonna double shield the Medicham though, which is very awkward. I feel like this is a bit of a misplay, since Aeeriis has been running this Trevenant Manibus core quite a bit. You should realize that there's a good chance that there is a Trevenant in the back, and Trevenant with shield up is extremely dangerous for Frika's team. On the other hand though, Aeeriis has also ran Manibus Registeel core, so yeah, I get that you really want to take, or at least want to have a shot at taking switch there, because you definitely don't want that Skarmy lined up versus a Registeel potentially. So I don't think him double shooting there is necessarily a bad play. Unfortunately though, I don't think it's gonna work out in this case. Just because it's a Trevenant in the backline instead of a Registeel. Yeah, he's even gonna get hit by the Icicle Spear here. And with a shield up, this Trevenant should be able to do Shadow Ball, the Skarm, and this looks pretty over. Maybe Frika can still pull off a nasty sacrificial switch here. Aeeriis actually decides to overfarm here, afraid of the catch, knows he still has a shield, knows the Skarmy is still very, very far away from 2 moves, so there's to overfarm. I guess he also doesn't really want to get hit by an Ice Punch from Medi, so he overfarms, so we can now get to the Seed Bomb before the Ice Punch. Actually didn't really remember how much energy the Medi has. Oh, not enough. Not that it would have actually CMP hide there. Not even sure if the Ice Punch would have knocked out. But yeah, this will knock out the Medi. Then he farms down the Skarm. And Aeeriis takes the win. Aeeriis really predicting almost all of Frika's lineups there once again. Basically what he has done to everyone the entire tournament. Just calling the leads, calling the lineups, and he just does a very good job at that. And I don't think it's just luck. I feel like there is a method to the madness. Unfortunately, I haven't quite figured it out myself yet, but I will be looking into some of these matches some more to try to get good at that myself as well. Anyway, congrats to Aeeriis once again on being the first EU International Championships winner and on the ticket to Worlds. Really well played by Frika as well. Even though he lost, he still played well. There wasn't that much he could have done with the lineups. He was served, so that's just tough. And that happens to everyone. Anyway, hope everyone enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.